Thursday evening to M11 Alive Storm Tracker. Meteorologist Melissa Nord. Every other night this week we've been talking about Alberto, or what became Alberto, but now we're talking about the next system that we're tracking out in the Atlantic Ocean basin. This is Invest 92L, and this is situated off the Florida coastline, and this will move northwestward, eventually pose some impacts to parts of Florida and also Georgia. So this is not a depression or a named storm yet, but the National Hurricane Center is now giving this about a 50% chance of development here over the next 2 days as it gets closer to the coastline. So watching those potential impacts as it moves to the coast, but it's kind of going to run out of territory for it to strengthen much. We're expecting that this could strengthen a little bit, but again, it's going to run out of territory to be able to do a whole lot. So right now, this is given a 50% chance of development over the next 2 days. And you'll notice on this map, this shows you kind of a polygon or a oblong circle. And this shows you the direction that it's going to be moving. So it's going to move up towards between the first coast and into Georgia. We've got the Air Force hurricane hunters. They've been out investigating this today. They were earlier today. They did find that on the northeastern kind of side of the storm, there were some healthy thunderstorms. They also captured some of those wind gust speeds that were above tropical storm force. But what this storm is lacking is a well-defined low-level center of circulation or rotation. So it's kind of a broad area of low pressure still. It is battling a little bit of dry air, and we'll have to see if it can kind of get out of that dry air and have some further development before it nears the coastline. Here's the big picture on the moisture map. You can see that little tiny teal color on the map. That's 92L. That's where the moisture is. But to the north of it and to the south of it, it is battling much drier air. The thing about tropical systems is they need a very moist atmosphere, they need warm ocean waters, and they need a lack of wind shear to develop and intensify. And this dry air is really the biggest inhibiting factor of 92L forming into a tropical depression or storm. As of right now, it's kind of this tiny cluster of thunderstorms, but to the north and the south, we have the dry air. So we'll see if it has an opportunity to get a little better formed, if those thunderstorms can wrap around the center of the low on both sides of it, to the north and to the south. This is future radar, though, which helps to kind of pinpoint when we're expecting some of those outer convective cells or showers to start pushing on shore. You notice the wind lines on the map. These are the wind areas, which shows us where the center of the circulation is and what the winds are doing around the center of that circulation. So we are here in Atlanta. That's where we're broadcasting from. But down here, this is the Georgia coastline. You notice they've got onshore winds tonight. That does elevate the rip current risk, and it also means that we have a rougher surf. So we're expecting that along the coast here for the Atlantic coast from Georgia all the way down through the Florida area. As we head through the overnight, that low gets a little closer to the coast tomorrow morning. It might have an opportunity to get its act together a little bit, and the hurricane hunters do have another flight scheduled to go into Invest 92L Friday morning. But as we get into Friday afternoon, it might kind of run out of time. We are expecting some of those tropical rain showers, almost like rain bands and thunderstorms along the coast of Georgia and into Florida. But the biggest impact in North Georgia we're going to see from this storm system is that it will increase the moisture here. It'll give us the opportunity for a couple of showers and storms by the end of the weekend, but we are not expecting a direct impact, direct hit, anything like that. This is just an invest. It's a broad area of low pressure. It could become a tropical depression. It likely will not actually become a named storm as of all the data that's out there right now, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Let me show you this moisture map, and this tells the story. You can see the blue color across North Georgia right now. That is the dry air in place. But if we look off the Atlantic, that's where we have better moisture. This is precipitable water, which can help form and a lot of that around to form showers and thunderstorms. And as we get into the weekend, we're expecting that dry air to kind of retrograde back to the northwest. Here comes some of that more tropical moisture pushing in on Saturday and lasting into Sunday as well. So it'll give us at least the opportunity for a hit or miss shower or storm. Unfortunately, this will not be one of those tropical systems that strengthens and brings us a widespread rain threat. we need some rain here in the Georgia area. We now have in the Atlanta area moderate drought, which has returned with today's drought monitor for the first time since we were at the beginning of last winter. All right, rain chances not in the picture Friday, not in the picture Saturday, but as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, some isolated showers and thunderstorms will be possible. And Saturday, I know I don't have a 20% chance on this. I'll show you a forecast track so you can see. I'm not going to rule out a stray shower somewhere, but it just doesn't look very favorable for many of us to pick up any of those tropical nature showers or thunderstorms. Here's our forecast track as we head through the overnight. We've had this breeze from the east the last several days, and we'll have the breeze picking up again on Friday. We'll start off in the morning, low 70s, and then as we get into the afternoon, hotter with high temperatures in the low and mid 90s. As we head into Friday night and Saturday, that moisture content starting to increase. You'll first see that in the form of clouds. So if you had clouds here during the day on Saturday, you notice that 92L is trying to spin some of those showers across central and southern Georgia. Will those make it all the way up into the metro Saturday? As of right now, I'm not feeling very confident in that happening, but I don't think the rain chance is 0% altogether. As we head into Sunday, a little more favorable situation, I think, for us to squeeze out an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but a lot of us will not end up getting any of that rain. So this is 92L. Again, the National Hurricane Center giving this a 50% chance of development in the next 2 days. That's all it's got, because as it gets into late tomorrow, this thing's moving onshore, the center of the broad area of low pressure. Hurricane hunters were out investigating it today. They found that there were some strong wind gusts. It's all where these high cloud tops are. That's where the biggest thunderstorm activity is. But it's lacking a well-defined center of circulation. That's what tropical systems need. They need that well-defined center of circulation, the warm core, the thunderstorms really wrapping around the entire side of it. That's what makes these storms end up ticking up in the categories, right? So that's 50% chance of development the next 2 days. Also, there will be something else that we're tracking as we get into early next week. We just had Alberto, which formed in the Bay of Campeche, and that moved onshore in Mexico. It brought a lot of heavy rains to Texas and some storm surge. But there will be another little area of low pressure that has the opportunity to, we call, kind of breaking off the Central American gyre, big low-level, low-pressure circulation, which sits over Central America and Mexico early in hurricane season, and often we can see these little figments breaking off and spin up into little tropical systems. So that has a 30% chance of development the next 2 days, but over the next week, a 60% chance of development here in the next 7 days. So if that low ends up forming, models right now, again, take the moisture kind of westward on a track into Mexico again, with maybe some impacts in Texas. So Alberto, officially the first name of the 2024 hurricane season. That happened actually the latest that we've seen our first name storm since 2014. But even though that seemed really late, it's actually about average. So it formed on June 19th, our average first name storm. If you look at the last 30 years of data combined, is June 20th, which is today. So it was about average. The next name on the list is going to end up being Beryl, and we'll keep going from there and there. You know, it's only June 20th, and it may seem like, yeah, we're several weeks into hurricane season. Why are things so kind of quiet so far? Historically speaking, only 2% of hurricane season is done. 2% of the named systems, right? This tropical timeline map shows you that as we go through hurricane season, the number of named storms and the number of hurricanes in yellow here increase drastically. So if we took all the number of named storms and hurricanes day by day and put it all on the line of the map here, we're only about 2% through the way the season. So it officially started June 1st. And it peaks on September 10th. So again, we're tracking 92L off the Georgia coastline. It has a 50% chance of development here as we head throughout the next 2 days as it approaches Florida's first coast and also that kind of southern coast of Georgia as well. And we'll track some of that tropical moisture associated with 92L, increasing the chance of a few isolated showers and storms here in the North Georgia and Atlanta area here by the end of the weekend.